Ladies and gents, welcome aboard. We're gonna be going through the season 4 patch notes for Call of Duty, going through the new content that's coming out for for Thursday, May 29th. I don't know why it says Wednesday because it comes out on Thursday. So roadmap here, briefly here, we got some new maps coming to multiplayer. There is a new game mode coming to zombies, which is called Grief, which is actually a PvP type mode, which seems kind of cool if you're into zombies. We have a total of 5 new weapons coming to the game. Large new POI coming to Verdansk in downtown. So it's kind of like the Nakatomi Tower, like in Verdansk 84, but it'll be a very large tower. There's some movable cranes. We got the new Clash game mode, which is basically a TDM game mode. New Search and Destroy contract. There's a new perk. Nice. New care package kill streak.
YouTube.
And several attachments. And Druval, thank you for the 2. Say hello to YouTube. All right, so Verdansk, of course, we got the new Overlook Skyscraper. Seems like it could be a pretty cool area with the movable cranes. There will be some horizontal zip lines only in this area, but they're not adding them anywhere else. So horizontal zip lines only there. They're adding new high-value loot zones. So this will be like this, assumingly for the rest of the season. So Superstore, Quarry, and Overlook will be high-value loot zones, meaning more loot, more red boxes, orange crates, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, new Clash game mode. This is a 52v52, which is set in different POIs. This is really good for leveling and really good for just when you want to kind of just chill and level up some guns and that kind of stuff. They are introducing some new types of gameplay specifically into Clash and the other LTMs. They said, so I had a chance to join the creator call, which were, they basically just brief creators on what's coming like right before the patch notes. We don't really learn anything different besides the patch notes. But they did say one of their kind of methodologies of what they want to do is that they want to be able to test new things in LTMs before they bring it into the main game mode. World Series of Warzone qualifiers are coming up here soon. So you can qualify to make it to the big World Series of Warzone tournament, which will be on Verdansk. Our first playlist for the first looks like 2 weeks. So there's going to be some controversy here because they are taking out solos for Battle Royale and they are adding it to Battle Royale casual. I think that's a very poor choice. Yeah, I think they're really, it's an interesting thing. I think casual is a cool mode. I think it provides value to some people that are getting back in the game and want to just chill. But the fact that they're taking out it from the core game mode, I think is rather unfortunate. And then otherwise, we'll still have ranked BR. Resurgence ranked won't be coming until the mid-season update. So that'll be like probably end of June. Clash, Plunder, Resurgence will just be Rebirth. They did say, we did ask them on the creator call, what's going on with Area 99. They basically said, they were like, we don't have plans to bring it back as of this season, is what they said. So Tom, welcome back for 5 months. Appreciate you, man. So ranked play, there will be, a ranked reset. They are finally restricting tracker and then all launchers, and then also the ability to body shield. They're restricting in ranked. So that'll be good. That'll be a good change for sure. Different rewards. The rewards don't seem that crazy good, unfortunately. Again, these are different rewards for ranked. And then this is them talking about, hey, we're going to try these different things in LTMs, like I said already. They are making a change to the Gulag for BR in ranked. You will now start with a single armor plate in Gulag instead of no plates. So it'll make the TTKs a little bit slower, which I think will be a good thing for some situations. Loot and economy. Verdansk, they are updating ground loot, and they are trying to get rid of LMGs or less LMGs, more SMGs, and then like some better attachments on ARs, plus some different optics on ARs. So they didn't say, what worries me is they still have not said anything about bigger magazine sizes. And they also, it doesn't sound like this change is coming to Resurgence. So you're probably still going to be stuck with these like 30 round mags, which is frustrating. They are adding more lootable perks into Resurgence and Plunder, including the new Loot Master perk, which basically just increases your chances of getting better loot from different boxes and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how that goes. I think ground loot might still be an issue based off what I'm hearing. They are making changes to buy stations on Verdansk, so they're increasing the total count by 2, and then they're going to be shuffling them. So last season of Verdansk, every buy station was stationary, no matter what, it never changed. This season, they're going to be shuffling, which I think is a good thing that we'll have shuffling. I wish they would have more than the 49, because I think at the end of Verdansk and Warzone 1, I think we had 50 to 60 if I'm not mistaken, but I might be wrong. Again, the new Clash game mode, the new Search and Destroy contract will only be available in Clash to start, from what I'm understanding. And then they're probably going to bring it into BR and maybe Resurgence and Plunder and whatnot later on. Basically, you have a timer. You have to go to a buy station and you have to like blow up the buy station. It's like a supply run with an extra step. But apparently the enemy team can go up and defuse this. And if they do that, they get a fire sale at the buy station. So kind of interesting. Could be cool. Making a change to supply runs in BR is only consumed during a 5-star public event is a free item. I don't even understand what this is saying, to be completely honest. No, they do not have nuke contracts. That is still not in the game, unfortunately. All right, so some changes to guns and equipment. Flash grenades and concussions or stuns are getting a decent buff. They've been kind of pretty useless, honestly, lately. I don't think this will make them OP, but it will make them a lot stronger for sure. Field upgrades. This is in Clash only. This will probably come later to BR and Resurgence and Plunder, but there is a new door barricade where you can literally lock a door. Honestly, I feel like this could be hilarious. It could be really just funny for trolling people, but it's not going to be in BR or Resurgence at the start. Only going to be in that Clash game mode. Same with Clash, the new hand cannon. This is basically a one-shot pistol, from what I understand. It might be two-shot in Warzone with full plates. I'm not sure exactly. Again, this will only be in Clash, and it sounds like you'll be able to get this through care packages. A few changes to perks. They're buffing Veteran. Veteran is the one that counters flashes and stuns and stuff like that. So they're buffing that to kind of balance it, since they're buffing that. So that way, if you are tired of running into them, then you can run Veteran. They a baby buff to Mountaineer, only a 2% difference. This is only going to add up to like a meter maybe, so it's not going to really change much. Mountaineer, I think it's a solid perk on Resurgence. It's probably not going to be worth running on Verdansk still, though. They're getting rid of altogether the Bandolier wildcard. This is the one that you come in with like full ammo. Yeah, it wasn't really used at all. So we'll see. It looks like they're just getting rid of it. New weapons. We have the new LC-10. This is an SMG. Sounds like it's going to be more of like a sniper support. It says excellent accuracy and range, moderate rate of fire, average mobility, slow handling. So my guess is this will be more of a sniper support-esque, not a true just close range gun. And then the FFAR also sounds kind of like a sniper support because it's very high rate of fire, excellent close quarters, but slower handling and mobility. So it sounds like the FFAR is like more of an SMG AR. The LC-10's more of an AR, but as an SMG, kind of in a sense. But we'll just have to see. New marksman rifle, the Essex. This is a lever action marksman rifle. High damage potential, but slower rate of fire. This will probably be like a fun quick scoping type. Hopefully it's a one-shot headshot at least. If it's not a one-shot headshot, it's going to be completely useless. So we will have to see on that one. Several new attachments coming. The G-Grip foregrip. This is probably going to be a very good attachment. I'm assuming this will probably be like a meta type attachment. It is a vertical foregrip that has a laser in it and improves firing stability, so that less sway. Also improves horizontal recoil, which is very important for recoil control. Usually the more important one over vertical. And then also tightened spread, transitioning from hipfire to ADS. So kind of like the Strelic laser, all combined in one. Someone just said something very sus in my chat. We are going to ban that person. LOL. Anyways, back to the video. Strider 3-round burst. I don't know why they do the 3-round, why they're so obsessed with 3-round bursts. Bursts are just usually they're either amazing or horrible, and it's usually the horrible route. SVD full auto mod, so turning the SVD marksman or sniper into like a semi-auto. That'll be interesting. And then a TR2 conversion, which turns the TR2 marksman into a fully automatic. So rivals fire rates in SMG. So that could be an interesting one. We'll see. Weapon adjustments. So I got to be honest here. When I read these weapon adjustments, I was very frustrated, and you guys will understand why. So it says our current weapon balance goals are focused on refining each class's role. Okay, makes sense. Goals to make LMGs more reliable for long range engagements. Makes sense. LMGs have really struggled, while still being outperformed by ARs at mid range. At the same time, giving SMGs more range to improve their overall viability. Okay, I could see that. Increasing bullet velocity for ARs to make it easier to land shots at mid to long ranges. That statement as a whole, I completely agree with. ARs, bullet velocity wise, kind of stink. LMGs have been really, really bad. So I agree with this as a whole. But when it comes to the changes they're actually making, it just seems like they're just blowing smoke up, you know what. So almost basically every Black Ops 6 AR is getting a bullet velocity buff. And almost all of them, they're making these changes to the CHF barrel, which nobody uses anyway. And then they're adding to the marksman foregrip, which this is the one that it allows you to hold your breath, but on a non-sniper. Now, the thing that I don't like about that attachment is that when you do it, it like zooms you in and it changes your FOV and it feels weird. I don't like that. It might work for some situations in some guns, but I still don't think I think like these changes are going to basically be useless. A lot of other guns are also buffing the flinch resistance of the heavy and combat stock. Again, super minor change isn't going to really result to very much. Again, like, a few guns are getting some handling buffs. So like the aims, okay, it's getting better handling. It might become a little bit better. But the problem is at the end of the day, what matters most with these guns is the recoil and the TTK. The aims is going to be good, but because they're not changing the TTKs, I just don't see it becoming... None of these guns, there's no damage changes for the most part in any of these guns. The AMAX is actually getting a recoil nerf. They're increasing the view kick. So the AMAX, which was already, it was good, but not meta after its last nerf. Now it just got even worse. And it's just like, well, there's no reason to use the AMAX now over the Krig C. And by the way, the Krig C did not get nerfed. So the meta is not changing whatsoever when it comes to ARs. The Cypher, again, okay. Like I said, basically all the ARs are getting bullet velocity buffs or these random attachment changes that are not going to change anything. GPR, bullet velocity. The Kilo, though, again, another gun that was kind of fringe meta. It was good, but wasn't top tier. They're nerfing the recoil of it. And it's like, why are we doing that when it already was not the best option? Why are we nerfing a gun that was already a step behind the Krig C? But then we have the Krig C, no nerfs. All they're doing is they're buffing the bullet velocity like everything else, and then they're making attachment changes. So this just doesn't make any sense in terms of what they're doing because they're not changing the meta. And what's frustrating here is in the creator call, the lead dev of Warzone, his name's Pete something, I can't remember his name now, because what's his name stepped down, he's like, oh, this is the most balanced we've ever had, Black Ops 6 Warzone in terms of different guns to use. And I'm like, this is not what the passionates are saying. They are not making any notable changes. Like this is the most lackluster weapon balancing update I have ever seen from them in terms of a season update. So it's just really frustrating here. Like the meta is not changing whatsoever in terms of ARs. And then SMGs, essentially all the Black Ops 6 SMGs are getting range buffs, like very slight, like, 1 to 2 meter differences. And that's pretty much it. Again, you get some like random attachment changes here. That's not going to change anything. Probably the only SMG that I think might sneak into the meta now that wasn't is going to be the Jackal. The Jackal, they did, like the other SMGs, buff the range, but they did also increase the lower torso multiplier slightly. And that will change it to where you're going to have a more consistent TTK. The Jackal is going to have a similar average TTK now as the C9, but the Jackal is going to be like a high risk, high reward type gun because you're either going to get a really good TTK, like 530 milliseconds, or a bad TTK of like 610 or something. It's going to be like 50-50 between those. So for really good players, the Jackal will be great. For players that can't hit high damage areas, the Jackal won't be worth using, and you'd rather stick to like a C9. Again, like this attachment change they're making for the marksman foregrip is pretty useless. The compact, they did also slightly buff the lower torso. It'll make it a little bit better, but I don't think it's going to be a top tier gun, especially on Verdansk. For Resurgence, I think it will be a great gun like it always has been. It's been a little bit slept on. KSV, again, range buffs, same thing. Ladra, same thing, range buffs. PP919, literally, like PP919 has been the slowest TTK SMG. It's been like one of the bad SMGs. No buffs, essentially. PPSH, they did buff the handling, which was a weakness of it, but by 10 millisecond sprint to fire, 5 millisecond ADS, whoop-de-doo here, you know what I mean? So like, yes, they're changing guns, but it's not even going to be noticeable. Like we're making these 1 meter, range nerfs. That's what's frustrating to me is they go in and they're like, oh, we're making SMGs more viable and having more range, but it's like, whoop-de-doo, we added 1 meter of range, guys. So this is where I'm just a little bit frustrated and it's just very underwhelming update in terms of guns. And as you can see, not a single MW2, MW3 SMG is being buffed or changed. So they're still going to be horrible. There's a few that are decent, but nothing's going to compete as far as, C9, Ladra, Jackal is going to be the SMG meta this season. And then we'll see what the LC10 and FFAR does. Maelstrom got a little bit of a range buff. It's going to suck. The shotguns are horrible. LMGs, now this is what I don't understand about LMGs is like the close range TTK of LMGs were already not very good and slower than a lot of the ARs. And then they're going to make them even worse but then they're just going to buff the range. So I still don't think LMGs are going to be that good based off what they're saying. It does say that they are, reducing some recoil on a lot of these. They're making the movement speed a tad bit better on some of these. So like, I think some of these might be a little bit more viable, but these reloads are so bad. The recoil, I mean, they are reducing recoil. So we're going to have to see, we're just gonna have to see with LMGs. Some of the LMGs might be decent, but I really doubt they're going to become legitimate contenders. They're going to be going from like barely usable to more usable is kind of what I'm gathering from this, but I might be wrong. We'll have to test a little bit there. Marksman rifle changes, basically nothing really exciting here getting changed here. Just random little, attachment changes there. Now this right here is what made me so frustrated. When I read this, I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me, guys. We've had the HDR has been the clear meta sniper all of season 3. And like, I was cool with it being the meta for one season, but I'm like, there's no way they don't go in and they don't buff other snipers, right? Nope. The only sniper they're touching is the AMR mod, arguably one of the worst snipers in the game currently. They're buffing its one-shot range to 114, which is like, it's okay, but like otherwise this gun sucks. It's just way worse than the HDR still. There's still zero reason to run this over the HDR. And the HDR is still going to be the only meta sniper. Like there's literally no options when it comes to if you want to run different snipers. Yes, on Resurgence you can run the car. Yes, the FGX Imperium is okay, but it just seems like it's just lazy. So I'm sorry if I'm ranting and I'm frustrated. I'm just trying to be honest here. A few other minor changes. They're making them. They're adding some things on to the death recap, whatever it's called. So this is like where it says if you died to a live ping or a UAV, they're adding different things on there of why you also might have died, even coughing, which that's cool. I mean, that's cool. A few other minor things as far as just some tracking with different things go. Nothing big here. A few various bug fixes. The biggest one here that I think will hopefully make a difference, however, they have said they fixed this before and they didn't, was that fixed an issue where kill streaks can become unusable the remainder of the match due to an airspace too crowded error. So this is a bug that it just like, no matter what, you try to call your PA or your cluster, it will not call in. It just keeps saying too crowded even though nothing's going on. So supposedly that is getting fixed. But yeah, and yeah, that is it. So the meta is not going to change, guys. I think the only SMG or new gun that's going to kind of become meta maybe is the Jackal. And then we'll have to see about the new guns. But otherwise, I got to be honest, we have no resurgence changes. We do have a big POI change coming to Warzone, but otherwise, yeah, seems like a pretty lackluster update. And I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll be wrong, but and then we're not getting resurgence casual and resurgence ranked until the mid-season update. So I think they are in the realm of spoon feeding us and sprinkle feeding us content to make it last until the next game. So we shall see. So guys, I apologize for the negative attitude. I was just kind of frustrated to read these patch notes. But we'll see. But hey, we'll be live when it goes live tomorrow. Hope to see y'all there. I will try to keep a positive attitude and we'll go from there. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one.